Welcome back to Numbers on the Board.
Numbers on the board, yes!
We are here to talk about the conference finals. We are here to potentially talk about the NBA finals. Today, we're going to be ranking every single NBA playoff series that we've seen so far. It's been some good ones. It's been some less than good ones. We're going to get into all of that. But before we get into it, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. It's a nice morning, beautiful sun out. The weather was nice. I'm usually a vibe type guy. Like if the weather's gloomy, I'm usually a little gloomy. But if it's nice out, I'm feeling good.
You can hit a backflip right now. That's like how good it is outside.
I ain't never did a backflip.
Oh, okay.
Even if I was on a trampoline, I was.
Oh, not even on the trampoline.
I was too scared.
It's not physical ability; it's mental.
Bet the money, make her do a backflip.
Okay.
Do it for the team. Maybe that's it.
I've done front
feeling
flips,
good.
not back.
Who?
You?
Why I'm feeling good?
He's singing.
Because he said the backflip. So backflip popped in my mind. Angel Reese on the shirt.
He just loves free stuff, huh?
Yes, he does.
Every fit we seen him put together is free
shirt, super little. He said, I don't care. It's free.
You know, I'm like a extra medium, so large just be a little tight sometimes.
Oh, that's a large.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a schmedium.
A medium.
We can't even tell who it is. That's how small it is on you. Or is it just wrinkle? It's one or the other.
It's a little
It's
scrunched
definitely
up.
that thing definitely is like allergic to an iron.
Did you just leave it in your
No,
car?
I steamed it.
That's your steam job?
Well, I mean, it's literally crunched. It's a small shirt, and I'm sitting down. So if I sat up, or if I was standing up and I pulled it down, you can be like, oh, it's not as wrinkled.
But you're
as it
not going to
look.
be walking around like this all day.
I can be.
Okay. Well, that's a mic thing.
How
Leave
you
a like,
feeling?
subscribe. I'm feeling great. 2 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesdays. We have Numbers on the Board linear. I know this is dropping after that, but I'm just letting you know for next week when we start talking about finals and all of that stuff. Tune in. It's the greatest show in the world, if you ask me.
I see you with them books on.
Yeah, shout out to my guy D-Book, man. I wish we'd be repping you. No, actually, I don't really care if you won a playoff series or not. Let's be real. But
You wearing books, but I ain't read one in years.
I tried to read a book recently. Actually, I did. I read that Zen book.
You read it all, or you read?
I read it completely through.
Okay.
And
How
it
was
did
it?
not improve my swing at all.
Oh no.
So I won't read mine then.
I
I'm
feel like
just
reading a
joking.
book on golf wouldn't.
It's
It
more
doesn't
about
sound like it would actually
Zen.
help.
It's about the
Zen.
mental aspect.
Oh, the mental aspect
It's
of
about the
golf.
mental aspect.
Okay.
And we filmed this week. Maybe it will make me a better golfer. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta allow it to process and simmer, and really get into you.
Visualize the shot that you
Yes.
want to hit.
Yes. And when you don't, zen the out.
Oh, I'll be visualizing a lot of shots, and that should never go the way I want.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
A lot of times I just feel like you be up there, and again, I'm no professional. I'm not that good myself. But I just feel like I don't know what you're doing. We all have the times we whiffing the ball missing, but it's like every time you go up, I'm expecting 2 misses and then a hit. Even KB be like, Darrick, just keep your eye on the ball, bro.
eye on the ball. Scrunch your back a little bit. Bend over the ball. Don't stand straight up with it.
You know, I love standing straight up.
All right, let's dive into what we
What
got
could that
going on.
possibly
I
be?
don't know.
Because my swing was bad. Like, I had no bend in my knees
Bro, you
at all.
took 2 swings in your whole life.
Yeah. It's evidently you could see that.
But you know why I feel stupid is because we should have known Mike wasn't golf. There's no way to cheese golf. There's no way to take an easy way out of golf. You know what I mean? Like, no, real talk. Like, Mike loves that type of route where we can go to LA Fitness and he can guard Tyler. You get what I'm saying? Where he can get on Madden and play Mutt and have Calvin Johnson be a safety. You know
Wait,
I'm saying?
what?
That's
You got Calvin Johnson be a safety?
Yeah, like I'm doing. That's what Madden does. They have William Perry at quarterback.
but it ain't that you're doing it, but that's the type of stuff that you gravitate to. So like in golf, there is no like escape or easy way out. You really gotta grind. You gotta really.
Only thing Mike grinds is 2K builds. That's the only time he put the time and effort in. Other than that, he just come with wrinkled shirts.
I seen you with a wrinkled shirt before.
I've seen you with more than a wrinkled shirt. Is my point.
It was like 2 episodes ago.
Go
you
at each
came
other.
on here with a bacon collar.
That shirt was from 1989. I don't know if you. I don't know if you.
Bacon collar.
I don't know if you expect it to be a turtleneck.
Bacon
It was
collar.
a vintage shirt.
What's the worst?
This
What's
is
the
like
worst?
a $15 shirt with a print on it.
What's the worst fit you ever seen him wear?
Good answer. You have to think really hard. I don't have to think really hard for Mike's worst visit.
Oh, go ahead and
When he had
answer.
the red shirt, the redder pants,
That's
and
just the
the
most
bright.
memorable one.
Okay, let's talk about 2 weeks ago when you came in, or the last one of the last episodes before we switched companies. You had mismatched shoes on. You walked into the podcast with mismatched shoes
It
on.
was flip flops though.
It don't matter.
You ain't noticed somebody complimented me on those flip flops when I walked out though. That's what you missed out on.
Who was that?
Some random person in the hallway in the building.
I think they were making fun of you, Michael.
They didn't laugh at all. They said nice flip flops.
Mike, you
They
crazy.
laughed when they went back to the office.
Yeah. Did you see that brother with the mismatched shoes on?
He got an excuse.
Yeah.
He
as
gets
always.
Superman.
As always. Do we got to drop the mic?
We do. It's also part of the reason why I wore this shirt.
Oh,
Because I just wanted to bring it out there because we support the W around here.
we always support women around here.
If you've been able
There's
to,
nothing better than a woman.
you got a point right there. If you've been able to catch any of the games or just throw out any players that you would recommend
Cameron
other
Brink.
people that haven't really been able to get like
Cameron
in tune
Brink.
in, that
Face
shirt.
of the NBA.
W.
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 Could be the
Face?
face of the NBA.
Oh, could be.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that should still be Aja Wilson for the next 15
You're
years.
thinking about the face. I'm saying the
You
face.
said the face. Oh.
But no, I'm a big fan of Natasha Cloud as well. If we being honest with ourselves, I think, Aja Wilson is incredible. Breanna Stewart, I still think is one of them ones. Incredible shoe.
Nafisa is one of my favorite players in the league from the Lynx.
We talk about Enrique like every day.
Enrique's a hooper, man.
Diana
she's
Taurasi.
my literal favorite player in the W right now.
Dejanay Carrington, she's one of my favorite.
I've been
players
seeing
now.
you talk about her a lot.
Is that
in the
Mystic? She
group
plays for
chat.
the Mystic?
The Sun.
The Sun? Okay.
Diana,
Right.
Diana
You're right.
Taurasi, I would say, is the first WNBA player, a female basketball player, a woman basketball player that had me like sit down and watch. Like when I was a kid and they was going on a crazy run at UConn, and I remember her going through the draft, and she had like, she was wearing like what the things that the girls wear on their legs.
Knee pads?
No, when you're for a fancy day, like
Oh,
stockings or
stockings?
pantyhose, whatever. And I remember her getting out of a limousine or getting into one, and they were doing like the behind the scenes of her draft night. And she was like, "Man, what's up with this? Y'all ain't have Braun and them wear this." And I just never forget. I always loved Diana Taurasi and her energy, and I love the fact that she's still in the league.
When the Sky was playing the Sun, they had somebody, and I just want to make sure the name is right, but I think it was like Brianna Jones. She was wearing the number 42, and I swear she played just like Al Horford. Like, she was a big man. She played very fundamental. She was a bigger body. I was like, okay.
Wow.
Against the Mercury, you said?
No, this was when Sun played the Sky.
Oh,
Diamond of Shields is another one of them. I got to watch her a little bit when she was a
Oh.
part of the Chicago Sky, but obviously
she's on Dallas now.
she ended up getting traded and everything.
Is it Dallas?
I'm not
Minnesota?
completely sure,
Okay.
but I'm thinking about when they went on that championship run. Vandersloot,
Shout
who's
out to
now
Vandersloot.
with the Liberty. Of course, Sabrina Ionescu,
Absolutely.
who's got the best
best
kicks in basketball.
for
Men's,
sure.
women's basketball don't matter. She's got the number one kicks.
I agree.
Some of the guys we interviewed said that they wear her shoe.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's apparent, man. Those are some. I still don't have a pair, unfortunately, but I think I'm gonna wait till the twos officially drop to just get those because I think I like those more than the ones.
I feel you on that. I think I still got to try to grab me some ones because what I found out with Paul George shoe, I remember when I was like, I'll just give me some later, and they got extremely hard to get. So I'm gonna try to go snatch me up. Probably them Oregon. I like them Oregon ones.
Yeah, they clean.
The Oregon ones is nice.
Let's talk about the
You
Boston
ain't got
Celtics.
you ain't got no love for the women.
I don't know if he threw a single name out there.
I mean, I support it, but like I'm not gonna sit here and act like I watch it on a regular basis.
That was the whole point, though, is to encourage people to watch it and get a name that they can like gravitate
you
to.
too good to watch, huh?
No,
You,
I just don't. I just be snoozing on it.
If you had to pick a team to root for, what team would you pick?
Chicago Sky.
Okay.
Good answer.
Good
outside
answer.
of the Chicago Sky.
I don't know. Indiana Fever.
Because of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Not
I
bad
like that
answer.
answer. Me and
Well,
Darrick-
what team Cameron Brink's on? I forgot.
She's on the Sparks.
No, maybe the Sparks then.
she your favorite guard?
She's not a guard.
Ah, my boy, my boy. Yeah. Me and Darrick went to a game last year. We actually enjoyed ourselves.
Who play? I know it was the
It was
Sky
Chicago.
versus.
The reason I say actually is because I think the game was like just like the last one of the year. Or could they have gotten to the playoffs? It was.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it felt like people was.
No, they were not in playoff contention last year.
It was packed out. It was a lot of people there though. It was definitely packed out.
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting the crowd to be as good. And they play at the Wintrust. But it was good. It was good. Me and Darrick was in there. They gave me and Darrick some free stuff. Treated us like royalty.
I still got that shower speaker to this day.
I do too. I do too. Do I use it? No, but it looked good in my shower. It looked good in my shower.
The Boston Celtics are going to the finals.
Yeah, kind of do that, but they finally did it, right?
They finally did it.
Again.
Again for the second time in 3 years. How we feeling about
Darrick is not that impressed.
Yeah.
And I want him to.
We had this full thing again on the ESPN2 show. So we don't want to dive into it again, but it was surprising to me, some of the stuff you were saying about the Celtics.
I mean, it's certain things when I'm looking at a team that convinced me. And I just don't feel like I don't feel convinced with what they've done. And also I feel like some of the things that they're doing to win these games, it won't translate over. I feel like the shot diet, some of those shots that Tatum and Brown take, they're going to be a lot tougher when you're in the NBA Finals going against a much better defensive team. I also feel like, in a weird way, it feels like that Boston Celtics team, when you're talking about limiting Brown and Tatum, I feel like they're a team you could scheme against. Like, if you sit down and you really look at it, I think we saw Golden State said we had got the tip from someone else that said they just had to help late or something like that, and it made them think and react. And like, I feel like they're a team that you could scheme against, and when you could scheme against somebody, I feel like it don't convince me that you
Is
can
there
win.
a team in the NBA that you don't feel like right now that you don't feel like can be schemed against?
I think Dallas is a hard team to scheme against.
No. It's not that it's not the difficulty, but can
No,
you?
yeah, I think Dallas is one of them.
That you can't scheme with.
Yeah, because I just feel like if you're talking about we've seen teams try to double Kyrie and Luka, it doesn't work. I don't really know. You try to play him one-on-one, it doesn't work. I don't really know what you could do to speed Luka up or to make him uncomfortable.
You don't think that the OKC Thunder had a very good recipe to limit those guys? I think that
Not Luka, at least.
Luka didn't have an amazing series.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say
he
the
had
scheme.
But he had
Even
some
if you
very
lose,
good
that don't
games.
mean like your scheme didn't have some type of effect or you didn't have no scheme.
And I also
You know?
think it's kind of unfair that the scheme you're talking about with the Celtics was from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the current Mavericks because
Jayson Tatum was 24 years old last time they made
where
the
they
finals.
are. And this is not only that, but this is a completely different team. They
I
have
just-
Drew Holiday and
yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis, which makes you a completely different team.
It do.
as
But I also
far as
feel like
talking about scheming.
when you look at those, I also feel like the offense a little predictable. Like, if it's like, I already know Tatum's going to take that side step, contested three from the left wing. Like, I know that's coming if he's getting in his bag on that side of the court. I just feel like they do a lot of things that I feel like when it comes to having good, really, very good defenders on you, it's not going to work.
Yeah, even with those things, though, nobody has come. You told me yesterday there's not a series in your mind that you ever felt.
Yeah,
because
because I just felt like they had such top-end talent in those series. I don't think that's
going to
case.
be them for the remaining of the playoffs, my brother.
I mean, I think in the finals, if it is end up being Dallas, I think Dallas, Luka and Kyrie they better. I think they're the better duo.
I don't think you're wrong with that, honestly.
In that series, it's going to be so interesting because I think there's no argument that Luka Doncic is the best player in the series. But you could argue that, like, the Celtics have players 2, which is Jayson Tatum. You could argue they have player 3, which is Jaylen Brown. And then Kyrie Irving maybe 3 or 4. That's interchangeable. But after that, it's like Drew Holiday, Darrick White, a healthy Kristaps Porzingis. They might have player 5 through 7.
Porzingis is a question mark for me because obviously he has to play. Like, I know, and then coming back from that injury and then just inserting yourself into the finals, I just don't know how much I really believe in that.
Do you believe it in more than 22 minutes between Xavier Tillman and O'Shea Brissett?
Yeah, I guess, but it's going to be...
So I think what you're saying, we're having a conversation,
Yeah.
but I don't think what you're saying is super off base. But my question to the original point about it being an easy path or whatever,
It's not their fault it was an easy path.
but like the Denver Nuggets also had a very easy path last year as well. Would you say that's the truth? They went against Minnesota without Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid.
Yes,
they went
did.
against the Suns, which is their first year together, when Chris Paul got injured 2 games into that one. They went against the Lakers. There's no caveat on the Lakers. It's the
Swept
goddamn
them.
Lakers.
Yeah, they swept
And
them.
then they went against another 8th seed in the Miami
Yeah,
Heat.
no, they had
But
a
we
very-
still put so much respect on that finals regardless of the people they went against because you still have to beat the team in front of you. So I don't want to come up here.
No.
That foot
I don't
tapping.
come up here and try to discredit what the Celtics have done just because their opposition has been injured. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants a chance to go to the NBA Finals. Some of our favorite players of all time never even got a chance to see the NBA Finals court or have a game or 2 or get to a game 5. So if you ask them, would we rather take the cakewalk walk or not be there at all, they're going to take the cakewalk.
No, I'm not
And even the
saying-
cakewalk can have them be ready for that final.
I just think the West teams were, for me, the more heavy favorite to win it all.
So is this the Western Conference more so the finals to you?
Yeah.
This is a 3-0 series right now.
Yeah, I thought whoever was going to win this series was going to win the finals.
Did you say that last series? You said that last series between Minnesota and Denver.
Yeah.
But you never thought that the Mavericks would be.
I mean, I thought the Mavericks would be there eventually, but I mean, I didn't really know. I thought whoever would win the West was going to win the championship.
No, you thought it was going to be between Denver and Minnesota.
Yes.
Right.
But now Minnesota's falling.
But now Minnesota is falling, so I'm like, okay.
Dallas took their spot.
Dallas took their spot.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that logic. I just think that because my main thing, and it's not even a problem with anything that you're saying. If you don't want to believe or accept the Celtics or you want to, discredit them, that's you. I just think that the Celtics, number one, they can't control anything. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of people in the media or just when we hear them get talked about, it's so much about what people want to see. And it's like at the end of the day, the game is to win. They are going to the NBA Finals, and they are, 12-2 at this point? They're 12-2.
Have not lost on the road.
Head into the NBA Finals. I just don't know what else more you can ask for. Yeah, you don't respect anybody they played because this is a team that was head and shoulders against around the entire NBA for the entire season. There wasn't a team in the entire 82 games that was even close to them. So it ain't because you can say it's because the East is weak, but they just better than everybody at the same time because all of these Eastern Conference teams went against each other and they beat the Magic took the Cavs to 7 games. The Knicks and the Pacers beat each other up. The Knicks and the 76ers beat each other up. The only team that nobody can hang with is the Celtics. That's literally the only team because they've been better than everybody in the entire NBA, even with Jayson Tatum and his shot diet. Even with him struggling and not having the games people want to see, they were still taking care of business. You had the first 2 games against the Pacers this series, I didn't like, but guess what? Brown gave you 40.
Honestly, the role players is everything that like the Celtics need because exactly that the Jayson Tatum he could have a bad game and they could still blow a team out. Honestly, I mean Darrick White, Jrue Holiday, even Al Horford. There's some games where they really just don't miss.
The reality is, if the Miami Heat were healthy, they were going to lose that series. If the Cavs were healthy, they were going to lose that series. If the Pacers were healthy, they were going to lose that series. Like any gripe with that, no matter if those teams that they went against were healthy, the Celtics were the better team. Even before the playoffs started, before there was a Donovan Mitchell injury, before there was a Jimmy Butler injury, the Celtics had minus odds to win the Eastern Conference. So I feel like regardless if everybody was healthy, this was the team we were going to see. So they went against the teams in front of them. And like you said, maybe some of the wins haven't been as convincing as you would want, but they're still wins. Like they were down by 18 in game number 3.
The first game by itself was that was a Pacers game right there, and they just took it.
In game number 3.
I think being down 18 to a Halliburton-less Pacers is a little concerning.
They shot 64% from 3.
You got to come in and you got to lock up.
It can't
Like,
be.
you can't. Come on, Derek. We've been doing this job for so damn long, bro.
It can't be that concerning if they came back and won it.
There was a moment, if you listen to the broadcast, there was a moment on it where this was JJ Redick, Doris Burke, and them, where JJ said, there it is, the Celtics flipped the switch on. That was when they were down by 14 points, and they got 3 back-to-back stops. And JJ was like, now they're going to defend. And what did they do? They cut that lead to 4 and eventually went on to win that game. Where, you could say they maybe played down to their competition, playing with their food, but regardless, we watched the last 7 minutes of that game last night against each other. Yeah. Alcatraz for the Pacers. The Pacers scored 0 points in 4 minutes.
Yeah,
that was it.
They struggled down the stretch of games.
And game number 3, Jrue Holiday, Andrew Nembhard had been phenomenal all game long. Game number 3, Jrue Holiday knew that he was going right and said, give me that ball. That's what they do. And Jaylen Brown made a huge play as a guy.
Darrick White delivered.
Everybody. And y'all see that it was exactly 1 year ago he hit the game winner against the Heat. Yeah. That was kind of crazy that it was.
That was the point that I was going to make, though. Like, the scary thing about them is in this series, they flip switches. That's what, I never wanted them to try to beat that team because that's a dangerous game to play.
Yeah, that's what I think Darrick into.
But in the fact that they're doing it, that's scary, bro. They went down to a Tyrese Halliburton-less Pacers by 18 and still wiped it away, and that does not matter. It does not matter. It only matters to you because you want to find a bone to pick because it's not the way you want to see it. But at the end of the day, if a team wins a championship, who gives a damn if it ain't the way you want to see it? You want to see them beat the team by 20 every night? Cool, that's what you want. It's not what they're doing, but they still winning the game, and they still put themselves in a position that we all put the expectation for them to be, which is in the finals.
One last question. If they would have won this whole series by 20-plus points, I honestly still don't believe you'd be impressed.
I don't either.
Because you'd be like, well, there was no
lose.
Halliburton.
No, I would be.
And it would say they ain't ready because they ain't played nobody. They ran through everybody, so how they going to be prepared? That's why I've said they've been in a lose-lose this whole way through.
I would have came up here with the mentality of they came out and they took care of business. They didn't really play around.
They still took care. They just swept them, Darrick.
I feel like they swept them, but that wasn't a convincing sweep. If you watch those
He
games,
sound like me
You
with the
sound like
Lakers.
him. That's
what
me
you
with the
sound like. You
Lakers,
sound like
the
him.
Lakers Nuggets
A
conversation.
non-convincing sweep is the craziest shit I've ever heard, man. That's so insane.
Can I ask you?
If Damian Lillard swept somebody, and every win was by one, because that's what the Mavericks are doing. They're barely beating the Timberwolves, but they're still up 3-0.
they're playing against teams that are more so on their caliber. But that's not the Celtics' fault, though. I'm able to look at that and gauge how
So
good.
I don't know what we're saying.
It's easier for me to gauge how good Dallas is because they're going against teams that's on their caliber. The Celtics are going against teams that are below their caliber, and they still have these games where you're just like,
also,
why are they in this game?
the Mavericks also aren't as good as the Celtics.
I disagree with that. I think they are as good as the Celtics. They just are going against much better teams.
Why didn't you pick the Mavericks to go this far? Because you didn't believe.
I thought
Celtics, that you didn't believe they were this good.
I thought Minnesota.
They're showing you in real
Minnesota
time.
and Jokic. I
No,
thought
I'm saying
Minnesota
even
and
at
Denver
the start
were
of the
top
playoffs,
teams. Yeah.
even at the start of the playoffs, you didn't have the Mavericks going to the NBA Finals.
No, I didn't.
Right.
But
You
I've
always
seen
had the
throughout-
Celtics,
But
though.
I've seen through. No, I did. I mean, yeah, because
Everyone up here had the Celtics going to
That's
going to the
saying
finals.
that
I
from
think.
the beginning of the year, even coming into the season, we all picked the Celtics to go to the finals.
yeah.
Then they went through the season, and we still left at the end of the season like the Celtics. Now they are in the finals with only 2 losses. They are the best team.
Only reason I picked them to be there was because Giannis was hurt and Joel Embiid was hurt. That was the only reason I did that. If those 2 teams were healthy and fully ready, I would have picked one of those teams to beat the Celtics.
That's fair. I think that's the truth for you.
I think
you
there's a
would've done
lot
that
of
too.
ifs, man.
Yeah.
There's so many ifs.
No, I'm just
It's so
we
many
speaking
ifs.
on the past, and I'm just saying that was my like predetermined picks that I thought could really challenge that team.
I'm gonna let you have that one because you're a Damian Lillard fan, but nothing the Bucks did is better than
I was gonna
anything
say,
the Celtics have done all
I
year.
would've
That's
picked the-
literally picking them because you like them. There's nothing that they did, anything this season, that is better than what the Celtics did all year long. Even the playoffs, like, oh man, we just gonna have to accept the fact that he just don't like.
I would say
which is fine.
even the Knicks, I would have tried to pick them to beat them, but it was just like they're taking out the top dog. Like that still would have even been a stretch and a super big battle for them.
The reason a Pacers series was so easy for me to process and not get so worked up is because as a Knicks fan, I looked at the Celtics like, that's a tall ass mountain to climb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even finna trick myself into being like, man, I can't believe we lost to the Pacers. We were gonna do something special. No, it's the Celtics. These motherfuckers got Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Darrick White. And off the bench, they got Al Horford. And then somehow they found a way to make Sam Hauser effective. Peyton Pritchard is playing some of the most confident basketball I've seen him play. This team is so well put together. Were they top 5 offense and defense
Yes,
for
they
pretty
were.
much all year?
Mm-hmm.
That's a recipe that we've all lived by since covering this. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You're going to have exceptions or anomalies here and there, but they checked every box. So to get to this point and just act like, man, I don't know. To me, that's just kind of cap. That's just falling victim of the moment and what people are saying on social media on these talking shows. And I don't know who I'm going to pick in the finals because I actually picked the Mavericks to beat the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
So I feel I like what the Mavericks is doing. But for somebody that won rocket with the Mavericks 7 days ago, to get up on here and try to convince me that you just Mavericked out, there's no way to scheme against them and they just
I just feel like
untouchable, it's kind of mind blowing to
I
me.
think throughout the playoffs, you can have varied opinions on
Throughout
things.
the playoffs, I
You
agree.
can switch it up.
That's
And
why I
now
felt
I'm seeing them going up 3-0,
But that's
and I'm
why
like,
I
okay.
felt how you felt with the Timberwolves. I was understanding because they was cooking throughout the playoffs. I understood that. But I'm saying 6 or 7 days ago, you ain't feel that way about the Mavericks.
I did feel like this was going to be a 7-game series. Like I said, this was going to be a dogfight, and it was going to go 7. I wasn't expecting Dallas to come out here and sweep, or at
Yeah.
least be on the verge of sweeping.
I think it's been a
Nobody
dogfight,
did.
even though it is 3-0.
Nobody
It's
thought
still
it
been
was going to be a
dogfight.
sweep.
Yeah.
And for all we know, it still might not be a sweep.
Yeah.
to
We
be
saw
honest with
Boston
you.
last year come back from being down 3-0.
Yeah, they
And
keep
force it.
reminding us that every interview before last game.
And guess
yeah, we
what the
can't get.
Celtics did? They lost Game 7. So
Right.
it still has not happened. But I think overall it is just very good conversation because I think there are things that you said that are legitimate. Like there are things about the Boston Celtics that aren't as convincing as other teams. But I think that's why we live in this parity world where like I could say the same thing about the Dallas Mavericks. Though they're up 3-0 as well, there are some things that you can look at and be like, that don't look great. This don't look great. And even with Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards playing the worst series of their lives, it's still a 3-0 series, but it's been a 1-point game, a 3-point game, and a 9-point game. So it's all been close. It's all been relative. And that's why I'm excited for the NBA Finals because though the Celtics have been the favorite this whole time, I'm going to pick them because I've picked them this entire ride. Even when, I don't know if y'all remember the Drew Holiday trade episode that we did. We asked, like, who's the team that's going to come out the East? I said the Celtics in that moment. I'm just going to stick to it. But I don't think the Celtics should be this super overwhelming favorite versus the Mavericks because the Mavericks have been that nice, and Luka is the best player in the series, and sometimes that's all that really matters. But I'm not an asterisk guy. I think that's just an NBA Twitter thing, and Twitter's just a part of like normal culture now. Like in our job, I will be a jackass to go into ESPN and be like, "Well, there's an asterisk next to this NBA Finals run," because we can do that for every single Finals run. Let's not act like when Bron made 8 straight Finals that he was going against super teams. Like that Eastern Conference was ass. Even Jordan's runs. Well, I'm sorry, Jordan. I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect you. But a few of those runs, they went against teams that were objectively just a lot worse than they were. But yet, when you win the championship, none of that fucking matters. Nobody cares. Nobody looks at the 07 run and be like, oh, it was a failure of a season. They beat up all the bad teams, and then they got to a really good team and they lost. We don't look at the 96 finals when this team was 73-10 or 72-10 and went through the finals. Be like, well, it was a weak Eastern Conference. They saw a weak finals appearance. That does not matter. At the end of the day, the Celtics did what everybody expected them to do, and that is a good thing. And when June 6th come around and we see them in the finals, we'll really be able to see where they are.
I love everything you said. That's my main problem. Like, I just feel like it's Twitter bullshit that's creeping into actual analysts talking, and I just think that's you. Well, one thing we can't do with these jobs is make it an expectation, and then somebody hits the expectation, and then try to move the goalpost. To me, that's just unfair. That's a lose-lose. The expectation was for them to be the best team in the NBA Finals, and so far they've done that, and they've done it convincingly.
The Celtics, if they lose in the playoffs, then it's a failure, and then they make it to the finals. You say, what did they celebrate it for? They went against a bunch of injured teams.
You
can't have both. You can't.
That
do both.
is insane to me.
You cannot do
That's
both.
literally what they're doing. That's insane to me. That's crazy.
The fact that it was a multiple viral tweets about Tatum throwing the ball up after sweeping a team, being like, what is he excited about, makes me feel like nobody fucking likes basketball. Nobody that watches sports cares.
They're more concerned about getting that tweet off so they can get their likes and get their little retweets.
But then-
So it's Elon Musk's fault for
Something
giving
like
that blue check for some money.
I understand part of what he's saying, but then some of that creeps onto like what he was just saying. You're up here telling me that they didn't do it convincingly when they swept the team. They swept the team, and at no point in this series, you felt like the Pacers were going to win this series.
No.
So they convincingly won. It might have not been as much as you wanted to see personally, or how much we probably thought it would have been.
I'm more of a prove it to me type of guy. Like,
if your son was in the NBA
and he made it to the finals,
he was in the finals with a 12-2 record after just sweeping his opponent in the Eastern Conference Finals, and somebody was on TV saying he got to prove it. As a father, I would think that you would be like, I don't give a damn what that dude is saying. My son and his team proving it. That would be crazy. Matter of fact, forget son. I truly believe this. I believe if Damian Lillard and the Bucks went on this same exact run, you would not be up here saying prove it. That's just what I believe. You can kind of convince me if you can that I'm tripping, and if you can convince me, then I'll let you have it. But I believe with that smirk that you keep making,
Nah.
that you are in agreement with me that if this was Damian Lillard in the Bucks,
I would definitely have some sort of hesitancy of being like, I haven't really seen them beat any of the top competition in the East.
You tell me that, but then this is how I got you, Darrick.
What's up?
That's what you tell me. But then a few minutes ago, you told me that you would have picked them to beat the Celtics without them having doing anything this season that would make you feel that way. This thing, the Bucks, talk about expectation and not really reaching. And I know in the playoffs they didn't have Giannis, so I can feel that. But this entire season, I don't think that they've lived up to what we all kind of was projecting and assuming once this trade happened. Can you agree with that?
Yeah, they haven't.
But yet you still were going to pick them against a team who did exceed to what we thought.
Yeah. I thought Giannis was going to be the best player in that series. I thought Giannis was going to come out and Damian Lillard. I thought they would be a very good duo in that series. That would be a lot for the Celtics to try to handle.
So you just go off the thought. It ain't about anything that's analyzed or any facts.
No,
or anything.
I mean,
it's just the thinking.
It's more so looking at what I got at face value, and I'm just looking at Giannis, and I think what he would do on the basketball court would just cause a lot of havoc for what the Celtics want to do.
Okay.
They don't like when you talk about having a body for Giannis. Kristaps Porzingis isn't the answer. Jayson Tatum don't want to do that on a consistent basis. Al Horford definitely ain't the answer at his age.
At one point, Al Horford. Oh, okay, at his age, okay. At one point, Al Horford was one of them boys. Don't sleep.
No, yeah.
Our team signed him just so he couldn't stop their best player no more.
Who is the answer for Giannis?
Nobody really, but
And yet he doesn't have 20 championships.
that is true.
And yet they didn't have the year that they thought that they were going to have, and it was still to me.
I do miss Giannis though.
Still a solid year.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that think they had a failure of a year. And
I thought they had a
especially in the
solid
playoffs-
season.
That's
That's why I was
Yeah.
surprised by the Adrian Griffin firing.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was well below expectation. If I'm being honest.
We all thought they had a solid season, but I do agree that the expectation was not what it was.
Yeah.
And even though they didn't meet the that's my whole point to you. They didn't meet their expectation. The Celtics met and exceeded because I didn't think that they were going to be that much marginally better than the rest of the NBA. And there was still a way for you to say, I'm picking them. So that makes me feel like if they did go on a run, you wouldn't have talked about they didn't convince you because they didn't need to convince you.
Do you think part of it is fatigue?
And then you're doing that smirk that I'm talking
Fatigue.
about.
Yeah. The Celtics have just been so consistently.
You know what you
conference
be
finals.
doing. He over here, you talking, and he doing this, trying to hold that smirk in.
They just been so consistently great throughout the time of us doing the show, where they've been in the conference finals, 6 of the last 8 years. I don't remember what the number was. You think you just have Celtics fatigue?
I don't have Celtics fatigue.
I was gonna say, there's no way, unless they were actually winning the championships, I feel like there's no way you could kind of look at the Celtics and be like, I'm just tired of them. You know what
No,
I'm
I
saying?
think there are
There's
people that
that
honestly would say that they're tired of seeing
They
the
got to be
Celtics.
tired in Jayson Tatum and Brown. But to me, I don't.
It's a different team.
Yeah, I literally
Yeah.
don't look at this team as any other Celtic team because to me, it's entirely different when you acquire Drew Holiday and Porzingis. Those are two players that you just can't go out on the market and get. That makes those two players go to any team, and we looking at any team different. I don't care who it is. If the Bulls got those two, we looking at the Bulls different. If the Lakers got those two, completely different. Now your Blazers get them, we probably still looking at the Blazers a little iffy.
Blazers did have Drew.
True, that is very true. But I just think you put these
yeah,
two
I guess
players
so.
on any team, and the expectation and the way you look at them completely change. So when people keep talking about the Celtics as if they're the same Celtics from even a year ago or the year before when they lost to the Warriors, I kind of get taken aback. Kristaps Porzingis was a top 5 center last year, right?
I think the main thing you look at this season is that how Jayson Tatum had a lot of games that they won where he did not perform well, and it was a supporting cast that kind of kept it afloat.
I agree.
Do you think him not performing well against Dallas, and do you think they still have a chance to win those games?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, Karl-Anthony
do.
Towns and Anthony Edwards are not performing, and they're still going down to the wire.
Luka hit a step back game winner in a game where Anthony Edwards shot 28% from the field,
Yeah.
and Karl-Anthony Towns hasn't been able to hit a shot the whole series.
And I believe that
That's the parity that we're talking about.
the Celtics, when they run into certain things, which they will, it's going to be a lot different than Minnesota because Rudy ain't there to clog up a paint. Kyle Anderson ain't there to clog up a paint. They're going to have guys at all times that you have to respect. So when you're playing that heavy gap defense that Dallas is going to do, that I love, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You're going to have a Porzingis who can shoot that shot. You're going to have Al Horford who just went 7 of 12. Darrick White hit a game winner. Drew Holiday hit a big three. Jayson Tatum the other night hit a big three. Brown went off for 40.
I think you could even take it a step further. Even after, like, they not even just catch and shoot. All them dudes will make a play off the dribble. Darrick White will get to the paint and make a really good pass or finish at the bucket. Same thing with Drew Holiday. Down the line, they all do it.
That is the advantage that the Celtics have over like the Timberwolves series versus Dallas, where they're going to be playing 4 people that can legitimately create for themselves and for others. Where with the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think one of the smartest things Jason Kidd is doing in this is they're making Ant have to prove that he can create for himself and others.
Yeah.
They're trying to make the 22-year-old turn into what Luka Doncic is, and he's not there. And nobody on the Celtics is the playmaker that Luka Doncic is, but all of them, you could argue, are better than what Anthony Edwards is at 22 years old. So you can't really just throw a couple bodies at these dudes and expect them to make the wrong read like Anthony Edwards has been when he threw it out.
I think
to
you got to
Nas
look
Reed.
at Rudy, too, because a lot of times they're giving up that short pass to Rudy and saying, make a play.
Horford will.
Horford and Kristaps, they will make a play.
Yeah,
And I think
it's
that's
going to
the-
be a great series.
That's
too.
also the unfortunate and kind of lose-lose shit for Tatum. When Tatum wasn't having the greatest sexy games at the start of the series, everybody talked about it. These last 2 performances to wrap the series up, the 36 almost triple-double, last night the 26 almost triple-double, the reads, the passes, the assists, the playmaking down the stretch, quiet.
That behind the back pass to Horford in the corner was nasty.
They're just unfortunately in a lose-lose situation. I even think that even if they win a championship, it's going to be the same thing, unfortunately, which I go back to what KB says. It does seem and kind of got a feeling that people just don't like basketball. But I won't even go that far. I think people do like basketball, but I just think we're in a world right now where people love to complain. People love to be unhappy. People love to be
Y'all remember
unpleased.
when the Suns, I think they just got Chris Paul. Remember they were super happy or whatever? They was dancing after the game, and people were like, man, I can't wait to see these dudes lose in the finals.
That's just the way.
Especially after they were lifting after a game.
Yeah.
Oh, people hated that.
Yeah, Minnesota did the lifting
Minnesota
thing
did
too,
that too.
and haven't won
That's
since.
just social media for you. I'm going to my first NBA Finals. This is Devin Booker and the Suns' first time being good in a long time, and people are like, yeah, they're too happy for me. Devin Booker played for 6 coaches in 5 years, and this is how he acted when he's finally on a good team. Hate him.
Yeah,
It's like, what?
it doesn't make any sense to
What
me.
are we talking about? Damian Lillard, he's going to the Bucks after being on that Portland Trailblazer team for a decade.
He's running from the grind.
He's running from the grind. LeBron want to play with his son. How dare he? How dare he provide a way for his son to live out his dreams? What is going on in the world?
Yeah, it's
I wish my dad was in the NBA. I wish.
it's a lot of miserable stuff, man. And just feel like I just don't do the Twitter stuff as much as I used to, man.
And that's why I hate it when they allow that shit to come on the real shit. Let that live on Twitter. Misery Love Company. Don't bring that shit over here. We having a good time. This is a great job. We talk about basketball. It's a lot of good basketball to celebrate. Anytime you had a down performance from Jayson Tatum, the conversation don't have to be about Jayson Tatum. Brown had 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Eastern Conference Final MVP.
Yeah, he said
was doing his little
he
dance
said not
with the
used to this
trophy.
because you don't win nothing.
Would y'all guess that the conversation is either more about Tatum not winning that or about Brown winning
I
that?
seen so many posts that were like dancing gifs. So like Tatum didn't win Eastern Conference MVP. Like I seen so many of it, and I'm just like, it honestly makes you laugh how much you see it.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
I'm
I
happy
know
for
for
Jaylen
sure
Brown.
what the conversation is. Yeah,
He played phenomenal this playoff.
He
run.
did.
So,
Yeah.
And he didn't make All NBA.
Played with a chip on his shoulder the whole game.
What type of chip? If you had to put a chip on his shoulder based off how he played, what type of chip would it be?
A hot Cheeto lime.
Why? Because that's what we have.
one of the greatest.
One of the
That's what
greatest
you
chips.
had at 7:30 a.m. before first period.
I
Were
was
you
not,
one of those?
I was not one of
Were
those.
you?
No,
There's no way I,
I waited
eat hot
till lunch.
flamers
I waited
for
till lunch.
breakfast.
What's the worst thing that y'all ate
Pop Tarts.
at like in high school? What's the worst like consistent thing that you ate throughout the day before you went to football, basketball practice?
my dad used to give me a $20 bill for the week
Yeah.
for my lunches, and I would eat one bag of chips for lunch, and that would be enough because I wanted to pocket the rest of the money for outside of school. So I would eat a bag of hot flamings, or one of those big ass cookies that they used to have.
Yeah.
And then go to practice, perform in practice, and just eat my first meal at 5 or 6 o'clock.
That's why I
after
asked y'all
everything.
that. Like, don't get me wrong. My mom used to give me money every day, And sometimes I get to build a chicken or a beef or something like that. But I also had plenty of days where I ate I used to get the big cookie my freshman year, but then as I got older, I used to get the stack of the little ones. Where I would just get like a Mountain Dew and a stack, and then I would eat that, and I would go to practice. We would go to school for the rest of the day, which is like, 7:50, 7:30 to 3.
Yeah.
Then you go to practice from 3 to 6. Probably not getting home till around 6:30. So I just went a whole day off of Mountain Dew and cookies. Let me try to do that. And yeah, it was cool. Had great practices.
I be getting a headache when I don't eat
For
for
real,
a
bro.
minute.
For real.
I be feeling like I'm just not myself.
Yeah.
Once you start to
That
do
hunger
that,
headache is real, bro.
Yeah.
Let me drink drinking a Mountain Dew right now would be insane.
I haven't even considered drinking Mountain
For
Dew.
real, bro.
I love me some Mountain Dew.
For real.
For real?
Yeah, I like Mountain Dew.
Bro, the
I
amount
don't
of
drink it
sugar in
often,
that
but like
was
I
just-
like
I
it.
like Mountain Dew when I was a kid, but as like I don't know.
You
at
know what
some
I think?
age,
It's because I
was
like those Baja Blasts from like Taco Bell.
Yeah,
That's that drink.
it is.
The worst thing I ate before, I ate a chicken teriyaki sub from Subway once before a football game. And I had to go to the bathroom. And coach was like, just hold it. Just
That's
wait till
crazy.
halftime.
I'm sure
Hit
we
the
had.
stomach at the wrong time.
I'm sure
it's
we
over.
had Culver's before he went to a game too.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay.
Plenty
And I
of
was
times.
playing football, though.
The
with
worst
my,
thing-
with
yeah,
my
that's
guts
the-
bubbling.
I feel like
was
you're
just
gonna throw
don't-
up.
I'm just like,
That's
don't-
what happened to me. We had the Babas in the Plex,
yeah.
and we had like a summer league game, and I was doing something with my mom that whole day, so I was like in a hustle bustle, and I just went and got like a pizza puff and a fry from Babas, and then I went to go play, and I was killing this game too, because Brock had like a college visit, and so I ended up playing and starting in his spot. And this is it's like my junior year, so I'm trying to make an impression on Coach Dorn or whatever. And I was killing, but they had to take me out because I was throwing up. I was
Oh.
throwing a piece of.
You remember
up.
last time we was hooping and I had to lead again because I was throwing up and I came back.
What did
Oh,
you eat?
yeah.
bro.
I don't know what I ate, but I think I was just because
No,
I
you
was so out of
drunk.
shape.
No, you was hungover.
No, I think I was just out of shape.
No, you was hungover. I'm telling you, bro. I forgot what we did the day before, but you was hungover.
No matter how out
I
of
haven't
shape
been
I've been, I've
hungover
never
in a
thrown
long
up.
time.
Yeah. I can't imagine throwing up and then going back to do active stuff.
They didn't
I mean,
put me back
usually-
in the game.
No, I did come back in the game.
No, I said they didn't put me back in the game.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I was there for that. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I came
came back
back.
on-
And
I
I'm
came
like,
back.
bro, that's different, bro. If I threw up, I am getting in my car and I am going home.
I mean, usually you feel better after you throw up though,
Usually,
because you
yeah.
get it out your system.
Not good enough to hoop.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
sweat,
I'm done.
and you running.
When I've had food poisoning, that's like those type of throw ups. It's like, nah, that should have had you attached and glued to your bed
Yeah.
for 2 days for sure.
Attach your glue to the toilet.
Absolutely, and you it's like seeing a zone defense. You don't know what to do. 'Cause it's coming top and bottom. Man, bro, that's the
That's a number
worst.
4, ain't it?
That's the, huh?
That's a number 4.
That's number 4.
Man, that's a number 5. Coming out like liquid.
It's the worst.
Water just splashing in the
Like, damn, P, you stay washing your hands, huh? Little do you know that's not water hitting that.
Oh, you
sink.
crazy. You crazy.
Anytime that happened, all I think about was like, damn, 6 hours ago I felt good.
That's
I ain't gotta
I
worry
feel
about
that way
nothing.
every time I'm sick, bro. When I had COVID, I was in my base. Well, nah, COVID was different. I hate saying this because it sounds so wrong. COVID was a bad time. It was a tough time. A lot of people lost their lives. A lot of people got sick and had some very traumatic experiences. But outside of that, when I look back on it, it was also a time where, like, think about it. We was waking up, doing our show in the comfort of our home, and then getting on the game and playing 20 hours, and nobody batted an eye.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend couldn't say anything like, "What? Why we ain't going
I
out?"
was hopping on the Zoom call. I just had boxes on. Y'all
Yes.
couldn't even tell.
Yes.
Yeah, it is
I was
it's
lying,
a
by the-
weird it's
I
a
was lying,
weird
by the
part
way.
to like think about retrospectively because of that reason why like so many people lost their lives and their livelihood, restaurants closed, so on and so forth. But also like it was like one of the weirdest times for our job because that was a time when we were able to propel ourselves higher than some of like the competition.
Yeah.
And part of that was because like people stopped working, which is understandable. And no matter what, we ain't had no basketball for 6 months, and we still
6
did our
months.
show 2 times a week and found
Yeah.
stuff to
Somehow
talk about.
we really pumped out basketball content with no content.
And I think that if it wasn't for that time frame of us feeling more comfortable with just talking about random stuff and hoops and stuff, that we wouldn't be where we are right now. So it is a weird part to like kind of think about and talk about because while for a lot of people it was the worst 2.5 years ever, for us it was just kind of the opposite of that because we were able to like hone in on our crafts. And because it was nothing else for me to do, the amount of content that I put together during the pandemic made me feel more comfortable with the grind of being a YouTuber and stuff. So
I think a lot of people feel like that, honestly. I mean, again, I be seeing posts, whatever, people talking about like how COVID was a time where they could stand out. They didn't have nothing to do. Like you couldn't go outside. It wasn't many distractions. So you had that time to focus a lot. And that's where you've seen a lot of TikTok people blow up too, because they
real.
just in the house doing videos.
streamers, stuff like
Remember
that.
they had remember they did the video where they were playing
That was Swag's
Era, yeah.
You remember when they was playing horse inside the house? It was like Chris Paul, I want to say, and
Yeah.
somebody
Oh,
else.
yeah.
And this
Like
is like
Zoom
like
call?
COVID, yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird time.
It's an emotional time because of so much of the negative impact that it had on a lot of people, but COVID was such like an amazing time for me because like just in retrospect with hindsight, it's never, I'm such a family oriented person and I was still living with my mom at the time and being around my intermediate family like on an everyday basis, and we just had nothing but time. And then it's like when the world finally opened back up, I moved out, got my own spot, everybody back in school, going back out to work. But it's just like that that's a lost time where like regular life gets so caught up where you don't have those opportunities. Even us, we was literally on the game with each other for 15 hours just chilling.
It was the weirdest thing too when like a family member got COVID. My dad, who during COVID, he didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
But he was the one that got COVID, and I remember like he didn't even really know for a couple days. Nobody else got it, like unaware of what was going on at all.
Yeah, my dad had to be admitted. Like that's how bad he had it. It almost took him out. Which is just it's a scary
Super
thing.
scary.
I remember it was super funny too, because D Mills was talking about like the first time he got COVID. He's like, man, I couldn't move. Like I couldn't even get to my phone to text y'all or whatever. And he was like, my phone was right here.
Yeah.
Was that COVID or was that the shot?
No, that was COVID. That was
Okay.
COVID.
I remember like I was laughing because the first time I got COVID, it just felt like a regular cold. The second time I got it, I felt exactly what he was talking about. Like you don't even want to move.
Yeah, like I was literally laying in bed and like randomly my body just like went like weak as fuck.
You did say that because what did you not come? You couldn't do the pod or you didn't get on the game. It was something. We was like, what happened? Where you was at?
I never knew I had it. I had to take a test in order to go do. Do y'all remember they did the NBA draft of all the legends?
Adam Sandler.
All of those great people there. I was supposed to get on a flight the next day to do that shoot with Turner. They needed a negative, like a real, not like a take-home test, but a real negative test. Came back positive, bro. I was asymptomatic.
I remember that.
But with COVID, and I was so very pissed because I wanted to meet Ernie Johnson, and I still haven't been able to do that. And they ended up having like Snoop Dogg was there. It's like I would have been in the same room with all these legends, and
Chilling.
instead I had to sit in the basement and not get my wife or girlfriend at the time pregnant.
When I had got it, I wasn't asymptomatic, but I didn't know I had it. But I found out I had it because starting my day, going around, give me some cereal, eating my cereal. Like, hold up. This shit kind of plain. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I'm tweaking because my nose is sounding like this a little bit. So I'm like, maybe it's because I can't breathe out of my nose. So I had ordered some noodles and company. Just something real quick. Eating the macaroni, I'm like, this shit plain. This bland-ass macaroni. Then I'm like, nah, I got that shit, man. I got that shit. And I remember telling my mama, like, Ma, I might have it, man. I might have it.
That's where we get that famous clip where D Mills coughed and everybody looked at him like he just said, like he committed murder.
That was when COVID was just starting.
We had no idea what was gonna happen.
No.
Me and my girl, our like dates at that time, we used to drive.
Yeah, just go on drive.
Just like shit like that. It's just some shit that you just, and we still do, but it was just different to have the streets kind of clear.
Yeah, they were just literally. Yeah, I remember I was going to the studio and I was like on the highway or whatever, and nobody was there, and it was like 10 a.m.
It felt like The Walking Dead, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Remember when everybody was like hoarding the
bro? I remember it took me so long. It took me a long
never
time.
made sense
That
to
shit
me.
was insane, bro.
Yeah,
We live in
I had
such a
eventually
crazy
get some toilet
society.
paper for like my girlfriend's mom because she was like a Costco shopper, so she had a bunch. But
She's part of the problem.
People have hand sanitizer for $20 on OfferUp.
Bro, that was crazy.
He got it from Pitts. Pitts walked up and dropped off the
Pitts
sanitizer
randomly gave
like
me
it
a
was
bottle of
pack.
hand sanitizer. Yeah.
Come outside, I got this pack for you. All right.
Oh man.
Some
Okay.
hand sanitizer.
We need to get into our break. Let's hear a word from our sponsor. But after that, we'll talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves being up 3-0 and then rank every single.
down 3-0.
Oh, I'm sorry, being down 3-0. And then we'll rank every single series that we've seen so far.
Why should you bet with Caesars Sportsbook? 2 words, Caesars Rewards. Every bet brings you closer to the type of benefits only Caesars can offer. Hotel stays, VIP experiences, sports and concert tickets, and more. It's not just an app, it's an empire.
Final score in game number 3 ended up being 116 to 107. Luka had 33, 5, 5, and 7. Kyrie Irving had 33, 4, 3, and 1. And we're
Carl
down
Anthony
to the
Towns
wire.
for 8 from 3.
You can talk about it.
How y'all feel about that?
Yeah.
As a big fella yourself, who got a nice, sweet outside touch, real soft touch, I love your jumper. When we do our pick and roll, they be so threatened by you diving that when you pop, I can give you that pocket pass. And so I know it'll be butter. Until the last few times. Remember we hooped, like, and he was like 0-15.
I was waiting for him to go into I wanted him to say something so I could bring up that moment.
you are a cat, really. So I shouldn't ask you.
Because remember, he was like, is there a point where you're going to go to the paint? He's like, I'm just keep shooting.
Yeah, you Garfield. You fat cat.
I just, for me personally, I didn't.
Can't tell.
I know I got the
I'm just
Garfield
talking
one.
shit.
But Cat, I mean, for him to be such a great shooter for his size, he's not just a shooter, and I think that's what's unfortunate that you're seeing him do. Like, he's so talented that he can just do so much on a basketball court, and when he keeps just doinking up the bricks, it's just it's pretty much a turnover. The Dallas Mavericks would pretty much just love that. If you ain't got it going, you ain't punishing us inside, you ain't getting to the mid range. He could just do so much on that basketball court offensively that for him to just keep settling like that, it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it was also no coincidence to me that, and I said this on a linear show and on my YouTube, but his best quarter was the third quarter, and ironically, he didn't take a single three in that quarter. Yeah. He went 3 of 4 with 9 points, got 3 free throw attempts at the free throw line, made all 3 of them, and then to see him just go into the fourth quarter, I think he went 0 of 5 and took another 4 threes and was scoreless in that fourth quarter was, again, disappointing. You also had Rudy, who played 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. Are there any adjustments if y'all was behind the scene that y'all would do? Was Nas Reed starting all of a sudden? Is theirs?
There was a tweet that I saw. Let me double check so I could give credit to who it was from. It was from Joe Verret, where he showed plays of the Minnesota Timberwolves doing 5 different coverages on Luka Doncic. Drop coverage up to the level of the screen, switching, hedging and recovering, and blitzing.
I saw this tweet too.
And every single one of them, Luka Doncic capitalized and either scored himself or got somebody else open. So if he is going at 5 different looks and being successful, I don't know if there's a thing that you can really do if you're Chris Finching him other than hoping that Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns get there. Because I am a firm believer that the defense is not the main problem. I do believe it's the fact that the top 2 dudes are not looking like the all-NBA players that we know they can be. I think that's the main thing. The defense is not good either. Yeah. But, like, if you're telling me that we were in a 1-point game when our best 2 guys were ass and 3-point game, it's not the defense. It's really the offense.
Did the Timberwolves? I remember that team tried something, and I wasn't really expecting it. Did they go zone, or was that Dallas?
They did go zone.
So
they
played the
even
most zone Timberwolves
win
zone, and for a whole bunch of excellent like on-ball defenders and everything like that, it made sense. And another talking point in the game was the fouls, bro. I mean, Minnesota, they're trying to, like, bother Luka and Kyrie, and they just can't. Like, they're picking up small little fouls that affect them when they actually do commit a foul that's, like, worth committing.
Zone against Luka and Kyrie just doesn't even sound effective.
Well, I think they were just trying to, again, change it up.
Change something?
Just change it up and see if something works. Because, honestly, whatever they do now, they're finding ways. And I think you just got to give credit to Luka and Kyrie because – they just take what the game gives them, and they're just capitalizing in every way possible.
Would y'all feel comfortable committing to one thing and doing that?
No.
Like, I would blitz it. I would
completely
blitz
blitz
it. Gafford, get 30.
Yeah.
Go ahead, get 30, Gafford.
So, in the regular season, Luka Doncic was the most blitzed player in basketball by a wide margin. And I remember listening to, like, episode 2 of Mind the Game with LeBron, JJ and all of them. And Bron was asked, like, why is Luka the guy getting blitzed? And if you look on the opposite side of the spectrum, nobody blitzes LeBron James.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And what LeBron said was the reason he doesn't get blitzed is because they know he'll make the right decision. And so I think it's interesting that Luka is the most blitz guy.
Because he's going to make the right
He's
decision.
also going to make the right decision. Is that just them being late to the
I
party?
think
and
LeBron,
just-
I think
late to
LeBron
the
in that
party.
interview said that eventually teams are going to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree with what you're saying though, P. If we're blitzing and that means that again no Lively, Maxi Kleber's back. Shout out to Maxi Kleber.
Yes,
if
he
that
is.
means that Gaffer gets the ball on the short roll again, you live with that. If that means that Darrick Jones Jr. and PJ Washington take 23s each at this point in time, get the ball out of Luka's hands just might be the only thing you can do.
I mean,
and
when you're
pray
blitzing,
that the other
though, you
misses.
still it's Kyrie on. Kyrie's gonna end up with that ball attacking a closeout.
Yeah.
So
I feel like you can still guard off ball and blitz at the same time. Like that person that's guarding him can't tag the roller at all. But again, if it's Daniel Gaffer, you feel okay with that. If you're starting the blitz so very early, like if you can get them to start their offense early, which I think that's one of the reasons why Jaden McDaniels is picking Luka up full court. It's not because he's trying to force a turnover, but he wants them to start to get into their stuff 35 feet away. And if they get into their stuff 35 feet away, and that means that Daniel Gafford is getting the ball base or free throw line extended, that's perfect for you if you're a defensive team because we saw him travel. We see him make the wrong read. And with no Lively, you feel good about it being Gafford and not anybody else.
Speaking of Lively, real quick, I know he went down or whatever. They were showing they had him mic'd up. Bro, he was talking a lot. Like, as a defensive anchor, he was all over the place. And, like, man, for a rookie to be doing that was, like, something you got to, like, love.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting anything to quote unquote stop Luka or the Mavericks in general.
You're just talking about switching it up.
Yeah, or staying with something instead of switching it up. If you did 5 different coverages and he beat all 5, we should let's just stick to one that is going to take the ball out of his hands. Because my biggest thing with Luka is obviously his playmaking is one of a kind. But in that game, the last one specifically, he hit the most timely shots like superstars should. When the Minnesota Timberwolves is getting it going, here go a 3. Here go another mid-range shot. And once that starts to get going and then Kyrie is going, now it's night-night.
Bro, I want to talk about that mid-range shot.
Gafford and them can't really – they're not going to hit timely shots. That dunk is going to be tough to give up. Don't get me wrong. Them twos going to add up for sure. But, I mean, I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable not having him control the game with the basketball in his hands.
Bro, I want to talk about Luka's mid-range jump shot because it still amazes me because I've seen it so many times. But Jaden McDaniels got to be like 6'9", 6. He's like super long. He doesn't even have to speed up his jump shot. Like it's so Luka pace. It's like, man, he's literally unfazed by it. And I feel like that's just added. We've seen players like that. It's like you can't mess with KD contest or you can't contest KD jumper because it's just like it's Kevin Durant. I feel it's like damn near the same way with Luka. Like he has some of the top defenders on him. That's why I even think about it. This assuming the Dallas obviously goes to the finals, but like I feel like he's just got size advantage over Drew Holiday and Derek White. So I want to see how that's interesting to play out.
I think the easiest thing about that, or not the easiest thing, but the most exciting thing is that they have so many different options that you could just try. Or like the Minnesota Timberwolves, it's either Jaden McDaniels or it's Kyle Anderson.
Yeah.
And I honestly do believe that Jaylen Brown or Jayson Tatum is going to have to take that matchup just because they're bigger bodies.
100%.
Because I do believe, even though Drew's a great defender, he might just be too small.
He
and
literally
Derek White
could
might
shoot
be too
over Drew
small too.
Holiday.
But they're going to have a 7-game series to try to figure out what works the best. I don't know. I don't know how the Celtics, again, defend them. Mostly because we're seeing like Andrew Nembhard dominate Al Horford on a switch. So you don't imagine what Luka and Kyrie could potentially do to him. But
Porzingis in space and
they got Rudy Gobert just in hell every time he pulls out to the to the 3-point line.
That's why I picked him. I knew those dudes gonna be credit to Rudy, phenomenal defensive year. Them dudes too much, man. I didn't see a world where they was gonna be fazed by that shit. To be honest with you, and all of that Anthony Edwards, I got Kyrie. That shit ain't really do nothing for me. It sounds
It's
good.
great because Rudy actually against the Suns is so good defensively. When you talk about him, he would defend in space with KD, D-Book.
And I don't think he's necessarily doing bad here. He's just doesn't bother these dudes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That's the crazy thing is that like KD and we seen bother KD and D-Book, but Kyrie and Luka they just been different monsters this playoffs.
Yeah.
They also got more reliable help.
They
Kicking
do.
out to Derrick Jones Jr. and him being able to knock the shots down he did in the last game, and same thing with PJ Washington. And they got Derek Lively
Got Jaden Hardy joining the party
and not
now.
your boy Nurkic.
Yeah, I mean, back to Cat. I mean, I don't mean
he
to-
said, "Yeah, forget this praise and magic
no.
stuff. Let me go back to talk trash to Karl-Anthony Towns."
he's 7 feet 250. PJ Washington is currently listed at
6'8".
Can I guess?
he's-
6'8",
no,
2.
6'7", 230.
230.
I was gonna say 230.
I was
If
gonna
I'm
say
if I'm
225.
PJ Washington, I'm happy with every jump shot you take.
For real.
Keep shooting them, please.
Put him in PJ.
Hey, you know what we got to do now? Every time we go hoop, we got to tell D Mills, you 6'3", damn near 300, and we got
take
to
his
point.
advice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But
I
he's
don't
not getting
think-
paid a max contract though.
something like that though.
Okay.
He getting paid.
hey,
He
hey.
getting paid a snack contract.
Nikias Duncan had this tweet. That was like the main topic of my episode that I did, but I want to hear if y'all agree with this. The last 5 games for Luka, I ain't gonna read the stat lines, but just dominance. That man has been insane. The way he's pretty much countered everything Minnesota has tried to do scheme-wise has been a joy to watch. He is a scheme-proof superstar. Do y'all agree with that? And if you do, who else is considered scheme-proof?
I mean, I think I kind of hinted at that earlier today when I had said that they're going to be a very hard team to scheme against because of Luka. So I would say so. Yeah,
I think so.
Because I think there's nothing you can really take away from him because he can just do so much. If you try to blitz me, I'm gonna make the right pass. If you play drop, I can hit the jumpers. I don't really know what you could do to Luka to really negate him, especially because he has the ball in his hands.
I would agree too. I think players that fit that category probably Jokic, Bron, just a lot of the like
Now
super-
Bron or
I think still Bron at this point, yeah. Because most of it, I think, is obviously goes into like your IQ and like how you can process a game and everything like that.
I think that's
because
fair.
you see a lot of times where even where he's posting up and you see help coming from a spot, he might not hit the guy that's coming to help. He might hit the guy that's trying to like rotate over. And I think a lot of that times it's like you're processing everything so fast that you're like ahead of the defense.
let me take a step back, and I want to make it a little bit more structured. I will give you a player, and you tell me if they're scheme proof. Jokic, we already talked about scheme proof.
Yeah.
I mean, other than what, one game in the last series where they made him take 10 threes, he was pretty much as
I think
dominant
that
as
was
ever.
just more so just fatigue.
Maybe. Giannis. He's scheme proof.
The Giannis wall. He talked about it when I
He's
gave him.
not scheme proof.
Yeah, this is the Giannis wall. Every team does it.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
No, I don't think he's not scheme proof.
I said in mine that it's too early to tell.
I was gonna say, we haven't
I would
really
say
seen
in that
enough.
series versus the Dallas Mavericks, in that individual series, he was the best player in that series.
Yeah.
Way too early to tell.
It's way too early.
I also
that-
don't think he has the playmaking levels to be scheme proof. I think you have
Part
to
of
have
that
really
too
good
is I
playmaking
think
to
you
be
got to
scheme-proof.
kind of separate what their team is kind of doing, because some of those dudes are like they're passing the ball, they're just not hitting the shot or making like they're not doing what they need to do to kind of like, oh yeah, Shay's got that where you can't play. Like part of that is the team too. You have to look at.
What about Joel Embiid?
He's scheme.
I think he's close to it.
Yeah,
I think he's close to
I
it.
think he's evolved as a playmaker and defensively, there's nothing you can really.
But
do.
honestly, you can also talk about like how you could probably tire him out. You know, we're gonna make
That's
him
the
work
scheme, make him
till
work.
the fourth. We're gonna make him work in that fourth quarter. He should be burnt out enough. It was like he's not gonna be as effective as he was the first first half.
It's an excellent point by Mike.
Yeah, that's
Very
a good
fair.
one. I didn't think about
It's an excellent-
wearing them out.
Beat him up.
It's an
Yeah.
excellent point by Mike.
But he's still closer to
Yeah, I think
scheme
so.
proof than
Because
some
when
of these
he's
others.
going, it's literally nothing you can do.
Yeah,
Kawhi Leonard.
I haven't really seen a scheme slow down Kawhi offensively. So it's
Actually, I wouldn't
yeah.
even say that. I think Kawhi just honestly just makes shots over like the craziest defenses. Like there's nothing you can do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's not like I
Kawhi
seen Kawhi
Leonard
get trapped
scheme
and he's just making every right play. I mean, I think that is the scheme against
Yeah.
Kawhi. Get the ball out of his hands and make him make a play.
Is Kawhi Leonard scheme proof?
I haven't really. Yeah, I mean, when I think of Kawhi, I always think of like playoff rise. Like he's a significant playoff riser, and like I've never seen a defense slow him down.
Well, when they lost 3-1 in a bubble, what was he doing?
I don't know.
Listen.
Nothing, right? He couldn't
see.
have been doing anything.
They lost to the Nuggets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they. Oh yeah, that was when Jeremy Grant was locking his ass up in those last 3 games.
Damn.
Because my main thing is to get
Yeah.
up here and not call everybody scheme proof.
Yeah, no, for
Everybody
sure.
can't be scheme
No,
proof.
but I was thinking of. I'm just thinking about his game and how he plays. He's so robotic that like it's so weird. He may be scheme proof.
So in Game 5,
But
he
might
had.
not be.
Remember, they were up 3-1 in this one.
Yeah.
Game 5, he had 36. They lost by 6. Game 6, they lost by 13.
And he had 18 or 13 one.
He had 25 on 44% shooting. And then in Game 7, he ended up having 6 of 22, 14 total points in this game.
Jeremy Grant was doing a very good job on him. So yeah, maybe he's not.
I don't remember the bubble. like the significant. I remember the significant moments. Anthony Davis game winner, and Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray both averaging 50 or whatever. But like the individual stuff like that, I couldn't tell you. I kind of forgot that Jeremy Grant was on the team at that time.
Is Donovan Mitchell scheme proof?
I'm going to keep going down the line. I'm going to keep going down the line. My initial response is probably no, just because he's smaller.
But I think he's getting way better than he was, like especially playmaking the ball.
Remember early Utah days?
Yeah,
He was like, bro,
but
what
now
are you
he's
doing?
got the game manager in him, so I think that does alleviate some of those problems.
Tatum, scheme proof?
No.
Steph Curry.
See, Steph Curry is so great off the ball and with the ball. So that's why I think he may be scheme proof. Just because if he's running constantly off the ball, guys aren't going to really keep up with him. But he's also one of the best ball handlers we've ever seen as well. So like when you add all that together, he's also a great finishing at the rim. He has now evolved a great mid-range game as well. And the three ball, we don't even have to talk on that, is the best ever. So offensively, he's not scheme proof. I mean, unless you want to do similar to what Mike said about Joel.
This is also, I'm just like nitpicking. I would say I've seen him kind of struggle with like size on him at most.
That was a question I was going to ask y'all. Is somebody like Kawhi, is somebody struggling? Is that scheme proof? Or did somebody scheme to stop? They all
Right.
so
It's
have
a
a bad game.
It's a very thin line. Because
Yeah.
You can miss. Steph Curry can have a game where he missed 7 open 3-pointers and be like, do you take credit for that defensively, or it was just a bad shooting night for Steph Curry?
Yeah.
Is it the scheme, or is it the player just having a bad night?
That's what I was trying to say with like the Kawhi thing. Like that sounded like one bad game, but just so happened to be the closeout game. But the rest of the series, it sounded like he was cooking.
Yeah.
So
Kevin Durant.
scheme proof, yes. There's no way to scheme. The way to scheme is to pray and hope that he plays for the Suns team that he just played on, and then that Nets team where they had
like
him,
3
Drummond,
bodies of
Bruce
KD.
Brown.
Yeah.
Who else was out? It was him, Drummond, Bruce Brown, and Joe Harris. You just gotta hope that you can gap up.
You got to show him 3
But
bodies.
even then, it's not enough because he's 7 feet with a.
Yeah, I don't think it's no answer for Kevin Durant.
And he's about as willing pass. The scorer he will pass that ball.
My counterpoint to that is, and maybe this is unfair to Kevin, is the one year that they got swept by the Boston Celtics.
No.
He was his worst playoff
They
series.
were
And
super
I think
physical.
that might have been, yes, they
But
were
they were
super
physical.
That
with
was
him.
also the series I'm talking about where he had time on the court where he was out there with Drummond.
But yeah, that was also all
Brown,
Kevin Durant right there.
and they literally sent 2 bodies at him.
Yeah,
Because,
so
we
their
don't have
starting
to
lineup
guard
the
Drummond.
entire series was Kyrie, Seth Curry, Bruce
Was Grant
Brown,
Williams?
KD, and then Drummond.
I remember Grant Williams had a lot of time where he was on Kevin Durant.
Yeah, they just beat him up the entire
Yeah.
series. And in this one, his counter stats were 26, 6, and 6. So it's not like he was averaging 0, but he also shot 38% from the field, 33% from 3.
Oh, 38% from the field is.
It's just not
He was
Kevin Durant
struggling.
like.
It was struggling.
But I go back and watch how they was guarding him. There's no respect for Bruce Brown.
there's no
There's no
respect for
respect for
anybody.
Drummond. So it's like we're going to double team and throw as many bodies as we can at Kevin Durant because Drummond's going to beat us. Sure, go ahead, Bruce Brown, with those floaters and the short game and beat us.
I got a couple more names. And this is all active conversation for y'all in the comment section, so let us know. Anthony Davis.
Is he scheme proof? No, I wouldn't say so.
I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
'Cause also, I feel like teams. When you play the Lakers, I still feel like teams try to scheme around Bron more so than Anthony Davis.
Yeah, it's a
That's
hard
yeah.
conversation to have off the top of your mind, right? Because
Yeah.
you try to think about, okay, have we seen series where teams have been able to not get rid of him, but like neutralize him?
Yeah, I'm
and it's
like
tough
again,
to really think about.
It's just make him shoot or like give him that confidence.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could have that 10
I think
for 10
Anthony
to
Davis
15.
schemes against himself when he wants to settle and shoot jump shots.
That's a good
from
point.
the 3-point.
So I'm gonna quickly go through some others, and y'all just say yes, no. And if it's a yes, then we can chat through it. Devin Booker.
I think he's in that same round with like Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
LeBron James. I think we mentioned his name
No.
earlier.
No scheme.
He's scheme proof.
Yeah, scheme proof. Yeah.
Jalen Brunson.
No, he's not scheme proof. Not
I don't
yet.
No,
think so.
yeah, the Pacers just with that weak defense just. But again, missing a couple starters, always easier to guard, but they threw bodies at him and put size on him and full court pressed him. You know what I mean? So
The last couple names is Anthony Edwards. I think we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I
he's,
think
not, he's not scheme proof. Jimmy Butler. I think we can agree that he's not scheme proof, even though he's been a playoff. You remember he had 54 or 6 in that game versus the Bucks last year.
yeah, that was last year. He was talking shit to Drew
56
Holiday.
I just don't. I had to go back and be like 54, 56 points.
He averaged like 38 points that series.
Yes, he did. Because after that game, he ended up having a 40-point game. So it's like, that is insane. And the last couple names on this list is Wembanyama.
It's too early.
Too early, great.
He's a rookie.
He hasn't seen the playoffs. That's what
physical.
schemes happen.
Be physical.
Tyrese Halliburton, I think we can say no to that. And then Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
You talked about him a little bit. He's close to it.
Okay.
Well, close as you can be for that's a really hard category to fit into.
I got one.
Yes.
It's early, but I got one. Paulo Banchero.
It's
I've only
so
seen him
early.
in one playoff series, and he was still very good in that series.
I think
I'm
this-
letting that boy shoot,
That's-
but
I
nah,
think the
he's
scheme
getting to the
is-
rim though. Like he's one of
Yeah.
those players. Same thing with like Anthony Davis, letting him shoot.
He was making
They
them
gonna
shots
get to the
against
rim.
the Cavs, though. He was making them shots, man. He was making them shots.
Need more evidence, Paolo.
Who's
But
the most game-proof player of all time?
Michael Jordan.
LeBron.
LeBron.
Michael
LeBron Jordan.
The dude who nobody stopped, and when it mattered,
Yeah. That,
never
yeah.
seen him be stopped.
Okay, outside of the top 2 greatest of all time, like who else? Is
When I asked
Kobe
that question,
Bryant.
I didn't think about Jordan.
Yeah. That's a very good question. Most scheme.
Oh, Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh,
Oh,
hell
yeah.
Come, yeah.
He
What are we
had-
doing?
He had all three
He
of
might
centers
be
in
number
rotation
one.
in foul trouble.
He might be number one. The scheme being foul him. All right, I mean,
But no,
sure.
but that he was missing them. Hacker Shaq was a real thing,
But
bro.
he was
But
still
do you
average
think that
30
they
in the
ever
game.
but they were able to. My point is they were able to be stopped. He
Yeah.
was. We've seen him be stopped. We've never seen Jordan on that stage be even close to stopped. And he was shooting jumpers and mid ranges.
I see what you're saying. My counterpoint to the hack and Shaq thing being the thing, that's not something you do for 48 minutes. So he's still giving you his 30. And I don't remember, again, off the top of my head, how many individual playoff games or series they lost because Shaq couldn't make a free throw.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
But I mean, having it be with Greg Popovich fouls you 2 seconds into a game, being the scheme is funny. Or teams legitimately had 4 centers
Four
on their
centers.
roster so
Yeah.
they could just throw fouls at Shaq.
What was the worst scheme of all time? The immediate thing
Single
that go-
coverage for Shaquille O'Neal.
Honestly,
the
nah. I'm
worst
gonna always
thing.
bring up
Byron
with Ricky
Russell.
Rubio. They said no step back 3 for you, James.
Oh, he was
Harden.
guarding from
Oh,
behind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Byron Russell on Michael Jordan.
That was crazy.
I'm
They
sending-
really
I'm
sat
sending-
behind James
I'm sending
Harden.
2 at Jordan. Game winner, shot on the line. He's not pushing off. I'm just sending 2.
Bro,
Ron Harper, step up.
James Harden had people guarding with their hands behind
Let's
their
not
back.
say. Let's not say people.
Okay, it
they
was-
they
yeah.
asses did it. Now,
but,
the rest-
but still, that's an NBA game. That's a crazy screenshot to see a guy defending
is.
without hands.
remember Lonzo was doing that for a long time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Lonzo was just different because he had the foot speed to
They just keep up.
to hold
Yeah.
his hands
He
to his
said,
side
"There's
and
no
still
way you
do
finna call a
this.
foul. There's no way I'm letting y'all call a foul.
I miss
no way.
Lonzo.
That new
Caruso.
meniscus got him looking decent. I
There's
see
no
the
way.
video.
If I could see Lonzo Caruso on that floor one more time to get
I'm
defended.
finna start.
We will.
I'm about to start a
We
new
will.
Bulls rebuild, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do because I know I got a healthy
Here's what you
Lonzo
do.
coming.
Here's what you do. You trade Vucevic away to the Grizzlies.
They don't want him, KB.
This is your series, right?
People watch my series because it's realistic
Oh.
as much as it can be.
No.
Because if that was the case, shit, I'm trading Zach LaVine for Austin Reeves.
Right.
Then yeah, I'm gonna trade.
Who you trading Vucevic for?
Shit.
just to get him off the team.
Get him off the
Get him
team.
off the-
So hey, Zaire Williams, Luke Cornett, or Luke Kennard, come on to the Chicago.
I
man.
am thinking and considering with that 11th pick
Don't trade him.
between Jared McCain
Okay.
and Khalil Ware.
More Khalil Ware than Jared McCain, mostly because we have Ayo Dosunmu and Kobe White.
Yeah.
I like
And then
Jared
Lonzo
McCain
and
because
Alex Caruso.
I'm
and-
not sure. I'm not sure what's the future for those guys going to be. But yeah.
I like Jared McCain though. Okay, now it is time to get to ranking or grading every single series we've seen so far. Okay.
In the offseason, we're going to come up here and we're going to have a Michael Jordan podcast, by the way. Because
Sure.
I don't like some of the tones and some of the things that y'all are up here saying. When I tell you that Michael Jordan is the most scheme-proof player ever, I don't want don't talk back. When I say he's
I
a-
thought we said something disrespectful
When
about Jordan.
you did. Oh,
we
maybe
said-
it's Shaq. No, it's Michael Jordan. When I say Michael Jordan is the greatest player to ever play this game, I don't want you to say, oh, one of them. No, he is the. He
Sound
is
like
the.
an uncle right now.
Shaq would be the greatest if he cared about basketball.
He is the.
Shaq,
Who said-
Shaq didn't even care about hooping and still was the top 10 of all time.
Who said that about him?
Huh?
What?
Somebody said that about Shaq. Like actually said that about him.
Oh, I was just memeing
Oh.
more than
I mean,
anything.
that is a real thing, though. That's how him and Kobe used to get into
Oh,
it.
I think that's why him and Shannon are into it.
Ah, yes,
Yes,
it is.
yep.
Yes,
Shannon
it
did
is.
say that.
Yeah.
I was memeing, but I mean, there's some truth
You might come at
related
you
in
now.
every. No, Shaq put a paragraph under Shannon Sharp's picture the other day.
Yeah.
I
And he made
remember
a
I'm
that.
not for that smoke.
He made a diss track
He
about
made a
Shannon.
full diss
Yeah.
track, yeah.
I love Shaq. That's all. He brought me on the stage. You ain't gotta worry about no diss tracks. We got that covered, don't we, Mike? If anybody ever want to go there, we got that covered.
Shaq had a song recently, maybe last year, I don't want to say recently, where his verse on it was so damn cold.
The one with
bro.
Zero, right?
I don't know who else
Oh,
was on
okay.
it.
Was with him riding in that big ass truck?
It was like at nighttime.
Yeah. I remember
I
him
never
on
seen
that.
the video. I just heard the song.
I think I
yeah.
told y'all too. He was on Meek Mill album.
What? New one? The new Meek Mill album that
Oh,
sold
no,
for
no, no,
6K?
no. It was
That
on,
sold 6K
6K
copies?
It was on Meek Mill and Rick Ross. I think it's Dame and Shaq on there. I'm gonna look at it real quick.
He is crazy.
He is very crazy.
Now we run into Meek at Summer League.
I'm only saying that because
Hey,
of
if we-
50 Cent.
If we run into Meek, if we run into Meek at Summer League, don't cop no plea.
Oh, man.
I
The
love
one that's-
Dreams of
the
Nightmare
one that
intro.
sold 6. I mean, Meek ain't dropped since 2018, brother.
I'm looking for it. It's a collab album.
it's him and Rick
Oh.
It's him and Rick Ross.
Oh, you know who produced
on
the
there?
song on his album?
Who?
Kid Wonder.
Who's
Yes,
on? Who's all the
sir.
features on there?
This beat?
Let's see. Fabulous is on here. The Dream is on here. Jeremiah's on here. French
Dame,
Montana.
right?
The last song is called Shaq and Kobe Remix featuring Shaquille O'Neal and Dame
Okay,
Dollar.
yeah.
Oh, Shaq and Dame on that?
Shaq
Yeah.
and Dame.
He finna. Oh, okay.
Nah.
But listen to Dead Last. Go get my cousin a couple pennies by listening to his song that he produced, please. Saw him the other day. Shout out to Cuz.
Where we starting off?
Let's start off Western Conference 1-8 matchup. 4-0 sweep for the Thunder. We going F tier through S tier when we ranking these things. Where's
I
this one?
forgot about this series.
F for forgot about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, F.
F could be for forgot about it.
Like, yeah,
But
what is,
that
what
first-
is the moment
the
about
first-
this
the
game?
first
Weezy F,
game-
baby, and the F is for forgot about it.
The first game was like the most exciting one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just went downhill.
Didn't Shaq get a
Larry-
game winner?
Remember?
See, oh,
was
we
it
got
I remember he got the
We
N one
got
on
the
CJ.
N1.
Okay.
Was that I don't remember if that was a game winner or not.
No, I think that put them up 3. But remember when Larry Nance missed the dunk?
Yes,
Threw
he
the
threw
ball
the ball
away.
out of bounds.
Uh,
Larry Nance had some very questionable decisions in that game, but he also had some very big moments in that game.
we
Weezy
need some
F,
answers.
baby.
You doing questionable shit. That's
and
a
the
fab
F
line.
is for forgot about it. All right, let's go 1-8 matchup. Boston Celtics winning 4-1 to the Miami Heat.
Uh,
F.
I would-
Because this one got me riled up when Tyler Hero had his greatest game ever, just for it to fall flat.
That's why I was gonna put it right above F.
So like a D tier.
Yeah, I was gonna give it D.
Because Tyler Hero did have that one game that was exciting.
I was thinking D tier as well. We'll do D tier. Then we got a 2-7 matchup. Denver 4-1 over the LA Lakers. What type of series was this?
This is a C.
This is a
Lakers tried to make it.
Oh,
close.
I was thinking A tier.
I
We
think
got
it's-
2 game winners.
We did get 2
Yeah.
game winners. See
I
how
was gonna
fast
say this.
forgot about it?
I was gonna say this. This was cinema. Like this was a very cinema-like series. It
Come
was
on, guys.
4-1. It was
Come on,
4-1, but like
guys.
we got 2 game winners.
This
it came
is
down to the
cinema?
wire.
This
it
was cinema.
Yeah, it was.
I've never heard you talk like that before.
He's
Well,
Martin Scorsese all of a
right.
sudden.
I'm expanding my vocabulary.
Guy Ritchie over here.
Cinema's like a 6-letter word. Expanding my vocabulary. I was thinking A tier, really. I know, again, the series didn't go long, but 2 game winners, including a walk-off game winner for the series. We also saw Michael Porter Jr. turn into Larry Bird for like 3 game stretch, which was pretty cool.
You ain't gotta remind me about all that. I was going B plus.
Okay.
Well, it's B or A.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, it
round
was a
up
good
to A.
series. It was a good series. It was definitely close.
Yeah.
You know, for it to be 4-1.
So we
It
want A?
was.
Yeah.
You that's back-to-back years. You're saying it was close.
I mean, the point differential for the series was close.
We got
Close enough.
Knicks winning 4-2 to the 76ers.
Oh, this was
is
A.
This is cinema.
This is like A.
This
and
has,
F.
this has so many moments. in
This
it.
is like
This
F.
is
This
S
might be
tier.
the
This
best
is S tier.
series.
This is the
This
one.
is S tier.
This is the one.
I'm mad we didn't get 7 of them.
Yeah, yeah.
I know you are. You're a hater. I saw the 18-minute video you hate on the Knicks.
Oh,
You
my
said you
God.
did.
A full 18-minute video. Like, and I
And-
watched it too.
And he would always tell me, I know I ain't no Knicks. I like the Knicks. I'm rooting for the Knicks.
I would put this one honestly S tier.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
fine
S
with
tier.
They got a 50-point game of 40, multiple 40s. Jalen Brunson
Yeah.
had like 4 by himself. Tyrese Maxey saw a game that was over, turned into Tracy McGrady and won that game.
Embiid,
Embiid's 50. It goes on and on. That's an S tier
Steven
series.
Chisel game winner.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
It was
yeah.
so much good stuff in this game.
Then we got Minnesota sweeping the Suns 4-0.
A tier.
This is-
'Cause I think it's more so just for like Minnesota came out and sent the statement, and then Phoenix was like the favorite to win the series.
I could get us a B because I see what Darrick said. Yeah.
I'm going C, just because I feel like it was. I don't know. It became a little bit underwhelming eventually.
We got the Pacers beating the Bucks 4-2.
I got mixed feelings. This is like a peak and valley type series where some moments I'm up, some moments up. Yeah.
That's kind of why I'm leaning towards C tier.
Yeah, I could do C.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It's not like they beat the healthy. If they would have beat the healthy Bucks, this would be S tier.
Chris Middleton.
Well, I was gonna say we got to
that's
see
what I
some
was
Chris
thinking.
Middleton buckets. That was
Yeah.
definitely the one where he sent it to OT was crazy.
I was thinking like low B tier, but I could settle for a C tier.
I'm gonna go C plus.
Okay. Next one we have is the Mavericks beating the Clippers 4-2.
It's like a
C tier.
it's like a
This
D.
was boring.
It might
as
be
hell.
it's like
It was
a
low-key
D,
boring.
honestly.
It was really boring because I think our expectation was like another Philly
Dog
versus
fight, boom,
Knicks,
boom, boom.
but in
Yeah,
the West.
Kawhi didn't
Again,
play.
we got to see James Harden have one of them games.
Yeah.
Yeah, one.
Didn't really do
First
shit
game.
for me.
Yeah.
He got him a game.
But that
though.
first game was like, damn, the Mavericks just lost. And
I
they
see
lost the
somebody.
series.
I see somebody tweet about like James Harden was going toe to toe with Luka and Kyrie, but Anthony Edwards and Anthony
Yeah, I
Edwards
saw
and
that
Cat
too.
can't because he got them that one game
right,
at
right.
least.
Okay, second round. We got the Mavericks upsetting the Thunder. Maybe it was an upset, maybe it wasn't. 4-2.
I'm gonna go B tier.
I thought it was a pretty impressive series.
Yeah.
though.
I'm going with Darrick. I'm gonna go B.
I thought what they did with J-Dub and kind of neutralizing him was very impressive.
We had a couple cool Luka games. We had the PJ Washington foul in the corner.
Oh, PJ Watson has so many games. He
Yeah.
has so many games in the series.
Yeah. So B tier.
Yeah, B for me.
The Celtics beating the Cavaliers 4-1.
D.
Yeah, they're like boring.
Like a D.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a bunch of moments in this one
Nah.
that you really remember other than seeing the
D
notification.
for
that
dominance for the Cavs. Or for the Celtics.
D for dominance. I'm cool with that. Then we got the 2-3 matchup. The Timberwolves winning the 7 versus the Nuggets.
This
This was a really good
This
series.
is a very good series. They went 7.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Minnesota
They
went
did
to
have that-
Denver, won 2 games, and then came back, lost 3 straight, and then they won 2 more.
Yeah, I think where my really came from was like none of them games was close until game 7.
But I still think all those things were still like very impressive. For Minnesota to go in their first 2 games, steal those 2 in Denver with the altitude. Denver's a great home team. Then you steal those, but then you go back and you fold and you let the best player in the world come out and steal those 2 games from you. That's deflating. And then you lost that other one in Denver too. And then boom, you bounce back and now you win your 2 games and now you.
But it's just those games that, what was it, 3-game stretch? It was like just blowout after blowout.
But
It
then
felt
also
like-
Minnesota had that big 18-point comeback in
Yeah,
that
game
in that
7
game
could
7.
completely saves a
Yeah.
lot of it for me.
So I think this is like an A-tier series.
I'm not against it, I guess.
They
I
scored.
guess you can't quite put it S tier because it was a lot of blowouts from both sides.
Last second round matchup, 7-game series. Pacers beating the Knicks.
This is a good series too.
I think it's like a
the
B.
Knicks
I
are
was
just
thinking B.
yeah, the Knicks are just full of good series.
The Nimhard shot wasn't. No, don't try to show us love now. No, I'm just playing.
It's gonna be the opposite video now.
Right.
Derrick being the biggest Knicks fan in the world for 18 minutes.
That Nimhard shot was crazy, man. I
yeah,
think it could have been S tier, but no OG.
yeah,
I'm okay with B tier for this one.
yeah. B tier works.
Got a game winner.
It was a lot of injuries in this. Josh Hart ended up getting hurt too.
Yeah, got some blowouts in it, but overall, a relatively close series.
No Mitchell Robinson.
So lastly, we got the Celtics sweeping the Pacers. Honestly, I'll go to bat for this series because I thought all these games was cool.
I thought it was close.
We got an
I thought
overtime
they was good
game.
games.
We
Yeah,
got
I'll go C
18-point
tier.
comeback.
Yeah.
I'm thinking B tier.
I was thinking
I was
B
thinking
tier
B.
too. I thought it was a good series. It was just a sweep.
Yeah, it was a good one. I would say we got to see Nimhard turn into
That boy.
Jalen Brunson from 2 years ago.
Nimhard was cooking their ass all game, bro. Like
And lastly, I know it ain't over just yet. The Mavs being up 3-0 to the Wolves.
It's been a really good series
It's
so far.
A. Game winner. It's A.
Yeah, and all of them being close, game winner, big leads being thrown left and right.
y'all value sweeps being an A tier? I mean, I think it's not a sweep yet, but like KB said, it's not over. But like,
I just think about like the
They're
I
for
think
a
about the quality of the games. Like these games have been close every
have,
time
yeah.
down. It's come
Well,
down to
the
a
Lakers
game
were in the
winner.
very same position where they were down 3-0, won a game, so they
Oh,
wasn't
yeah, yeah.
swept. It was a
Yeah,
legitimate sweepy. So maybe tonight is that too. We don't know.
Sweep, yeah.
But either way, yeah. I mean, when you have a point margin of 11 points through 3 games, I think that's like it's been cool. We get to see Luka Doncic dominate. Kyrie Irving looks great.
Seeing
it's still
Kyrie get
close.
his mojo offensively has been great.
Yeah, because that was
Remember
one
they
of the
tried
big
to wipe
things.
my boy out?
Yeah,
They said Luka was turning him into a spot up shooter.
that was.
Yeah, somebody said they were the 11th ranked duo in basketball.
Who?
No, I ain't putting no names out there.
No, who?
I ain't putting no names out there.
Stand on it. Who said it? You said it?
Kenny Beecham.
Oh, you did? I thought you were talking about Mike.
No, but y'all remember that episode where we were talking about
remember
duos
the
and
episode.
stuff?
I don't remember what we put anyway.
In my defense, we were talking about that season alone, and it was 41 games of them playing together, and they were
They didn't-
they were
yeah.
500.
That's what you get for trying to overthink.
No, that was the consensus. Go watch the episode. We made it very clear that we were just talking about this season. That's how we had Jared Allen and goddamn Donovan Mitchell,
yeah,
number 3.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but it is funny because that's been
Now say Massachusetts.
being taken out by the thing that you need to live is crazy.
That happens a lot with me.
Your body just rejected water.
No, I just be choking on it.
It's going down the wrong pipe.
Yeah.
Just cover your mouth and get it out.
What be making you choke on it?
I don't know. I think I just be drinking it too fast. I don't know.
I've never taken you as a guy that would struggle with swallowing
Water.
Yeah.
water.
It's only water specifically.
Everything else he's just fine with. He wanted everybody to let that be known.
It don't matter the substance other than water.
No problem.
You got it.
Y'all crazy, bro.
We?
This don't happen if you don't say what you said. But
You have a hard time swallowing pop?
No.
Milk?
No.
He said he could swallow some peanut butter if he felt like it.
Big beef juices?
Oh, hell no.
never cause them no problem other than the arteries. Anything else about hoops worth talking about? Other than I'm sorry, no more Bronny talk. I don't even know why I thought about it.
What you gonna say?
He got
You
invited
probably
to
just saw the notification like I did. He rejected workouts.
He got invited for 10 workouts and said, no, I'm only doing Lakers and the Suns. So I guess them.
And I was trying to reason with it, like maybe because the Suns, like they need role players or whatever, so maybe he could fit there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this situation.
I just don't know how a guy that's projected to be 54th can say no to workouts. Other than him being LeBron's son,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Wish him nothing but the best. We'll see. We'll see. I guess they were thinking about taking him at 22. And I went through, I saw an article recently that was like the biggest draft reaches of all time. Thon Maker was projected to go 44th, and he went like 9th.
No, Thon Maker went in a team.
Oh, 11th. He went 11th. But to go from 44th to 11th is crazy. It's because they wanted another Giannis project.
Yep.
And
That's
then
exactly
How
what
far
they
was the
wanted.
Cam Johnson pick?
It wasn't on the list.
It
on
wasn't
the
that
list.
far of a reach. I think he was projected to go in the 20s. He just went in the teens.
He went 11th. Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yep. Close to the team, so I feel what you mean.
Biggest draft reaches, man. And I wonder, I'm going to look it up again to see if I can find it.
While you doing that, I be looking at, after I did that star drill, and I don't know if you could relate to, I be looking at that movement shooting in the NBA so much differently.
Movement shooting is hard.
Yeah. Like, especially I be thinking about, like, man, trying to lock up one of the better players on the other team, then you got to run all the way down and hit a shot. And those NBA courts are huge.
So they said Russell Westbrook at the time was a reach. Not a huge reach. It wasn't like he was projected to go 40th, but they didn't see him being a top 5 pick.
That's a
Obviously,
fact.
that worked out. Cam Johnson, again, is on here. In 2004, Boston was trashed for taking Al Horford at 15 and Tony Allen at 25, both considered big reaches at the time, and both had long NBA careers.
Don't remember that.
Paul George was considered a huge reach when they took him at 10, despite everybody loving him. His low level of competition out of college really had them
Fresno
question.
State University.
Yeah. Isaiah Stewart. Was that a reach? That was in our active time. I don't even remember. Chuma
pick was he?
Okiki.
What pick
Wasn't he
was
like
Isaiah
one of the
Stewart?
only players to get an extension from?
Chuma Okiki was a reach because
Detroit.
he
He had
had
like
tore
20
his
years.
ACL
Yeah.
out of Auburn. Yeah.
Chuma Okiki ain't been back, bro. Isn't that crazy? He ain't been back. Do we unplugged?
What you mean?
Back in the rotation. Like they
Um,
found what they liked, and he's just sitting around now.
We kind of had our unplug with the COVID talk,
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
to be honest
I guess
with
that's true.
you. Other than that, I mean, What y'all wearing?
What we wearing?
And what y'all? Me and KB was talking about shoes and stuff earlier.
I'm sorry. I
I
know
gotta
this
see
is
it one more time.
for the audio listeners.
Yeah. What, you got some footworking videos?
No, I don't.
You got them bopping videos?
I ain't got them. I ain't got them.
You got them?
Yeah, I got the belly roll videos.
Oh, okay.
What an insane thing to post on your Instagram story.
Yeah, let's wrap up the show.
Hey, we appreciate y'all watching or listening to this episode of Numbers on the Board. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, tell a friend to subscribe because we're on our road to a milli. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all on Saturday.
Peace.